And we are with Brenice with A Voice for Hope. Thanks for being on our show.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Brenice Morciglio. I have two daughters and two boys. I come from a small town in Port Arthur, Texas. I was born in Puerto Rico. My father was a military man, and we ended up coming to Texas and never left. So that's a little bit about who I am and my Southern accent. So excuse my Southernness.
Okay, so before we dive into A Voice for Hope, which, if people aren't aware of, is an Orange County-based advocacy group that supports domestic violence. And not a lot of people know the numbers of domestic violence or how prevalent it is in Southeast Texas. So could you give us a little bit of background on that?
So domestic violence is a silent abuse. It occurs in a situation where you don't want to go and tell your mom and your dad that you were abused. People hide it. A lot of people don't want to deal with going towards, I'm going to go to the DA, I'm going to go file charges, I'm going to call the police. A lot of people don't go that route and they stay. And the reason they're staying is because of poverty level. We have a lot of people that don't finish high school, that don't have an education, don't have a degree, and are not okay to be out on their own with their children. A lot of cases that I've run into is that. And due to COVID, the numbers of domestic violence has gone skyrocketed. No matter if it's a call of service, no matter if it's a call of a disturbance call, the numbers have risen. Women don't have nowhere to go. We only have one facility of a shelter, and that's in Beaumont, Texas. So for as Orange, Texas, it shows that we have no numbers. But the reason it's showing we don't have any numbers is because all of these people are being referred to Jefferson County. If you look at Jefferson County's numbers, they're in the thousands. I interviewed a lady with the detectives, and she was at 2,900 cases of domestic violence. And that was it within 4 months. That's a lot of cases. That's a lot to endure, a lot to handle. So the statistics, it has gone up. Texas alone in 2018, it was at 207,000 family violence cases. That's a lot. That's just in Texas. Here locally in Orange, again, we're showing no numbers. People that are learning about me, that are hearing about my program, they call me. And the majority, I want to say 90% of my ladies do not want to call the police. 90% of my ladies want to get help, want to learn of a safety plan, to get out and not have to deal with law enforcement. Maybe because they're ashamed, because the law enforcement have been called out numerous times to that house and they haven't left, but they just don't want to go through that process. I don't discriminate. I don't, if they don't want to press charges, I can't force them to. I'm here to help them and teach them how not to accept what's been going on, and that there is another way out, that there is something better out there in life than having to deal with that. It's causing their children to react at school. It's causing, low grades. If you see a child that's depressed, it all comes from what's going on at home. And Orange County, we do have a problem. We do have domestic violence. It's something that you can't deny. It's something that is real. It's real. It's alive. People are suffering in silence. They're not going to go out and call nobody. They're not going to want to go through the whole process. The majority of them are married. Some of them are common in law. They're like, how are we going to get a divorce? I can't afford an attorney. Lone Star Legal Aid hasn't been accepting new clients lately because of COVID. They've been having a low number of attorneys that are on staff. So, COVID has traumatically hurt a lot of people, not only with the sickness, but also with how they get out. How do they escape?
Now, One of the things that A Voice for Hope is aiming to do, or has the goals of doing, from what I understand, is actually building a shelter, or more than just a shelter, in Orange County. Could you give us an idea of what your goals are towards that?
So, as a shelter, no. I actually want to create a transitional facility where they can transition out of the life that they were in. My goal is empowerment, and to empower the ladies that I serve and their children to help change their lives. So the facility will consist of programs. I will have ESL classes for a lady that doesn't speak English. Even if you know English and you want to learn Spanish, I don't mind teaching you Spanish. As a bilingual person, you make a lot of money. I know, I'm a translator. Residential assistance, they will have legal referrals, advocacy, food donations will be needed because they will have food on the premises, clothing donations. I will be trying to do a drug rehabilitation referral. I want to also create a program for drug rehabilitation because we do have a lot of drug a drug situation here in our county. I will be offering help with job training, victims compensation, paperwork to be helped with. I am a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I have been established since 2019. I have been advocating since 2016. So job training, helping them build their resumes, helping them get their high school diploma. We just started a program where it's a homeschool high school diploma based program, and they will actually do the schoolwork, the essays, and take tests, and to be able to reach that goal to graduate. Graduation will be this December. If anybody wants to, register, there is a fee. That's how we feed our ladies. That's how we participate in helping them. If I have a lady that calls right now and says she's got to get out, that's how we pay hotel fees. It all comes back to the ladies in the system. I do help with life skills training. I help finding them placement for their children. I help them with financial classes, counseling and therapy. I do a lot of referral out. I use a lot of Wells of Agape is the first person I always refer to. I love Miss Donna and Miss Tiffany there. They're amazing individuals. So my goal is to end the cycle. My goal is to help them learn what not to accept. How to get out of that. And in this facility, they'll be able to sleep, stay there with their children in a safe environment where their children can go back to school and continue their education. It's going to be a secure facility. I know a lot of people raise that question of what about security? Police officers here are amazing. I love my officers. Pinehurst police officers are amazing. Like Sheriff's Office, Orange County, they're doing a spectacular job. And I'm pretty sure that, they wouldn't mind coming out and helping and protecting the women and children that I would be serving as well. I love what I do. It's a very big passion of mine. It's not a job. My 9 to 5 is translations and interpretations. This is a 24-hour, 7 days a week. I'm open 24 hours, 7 days a week.
With, for instance, with helping with getting the ladies their education, with just general, it's bound to be more than just a one-person job. So if someone wants to either volunteer to help out with some of the things that you do, or maybe just donate, how are some ways they can contact you in order to either volunteer or donate?
So if you go onto my website, avoiceforhope.net, there is a link at the bottom where you can sign up to become a volunteer. There's also a link to do donations. That is linked to the A Voice for Hope bank account, and that will go directly to my ladies. So there's different ways that you can reach me on Facebook at a voice, the number 4 hope, and you can private message me there. My phone number is on the website, and it's also on Facebook. It's 409-549-7169, or you can even private email me if you'd like at avoiceforhope19@gmail.com. So there's many ways that you can contact me, and I'm needing a lot of things right now. So, I'm needing volunteers. I'm needing new advisory boards. I'm needing a lot of people to come together in the community to help out.
Okay, and we were talking before the show about some of your success stories, and would you like to take a moment or two maybe to highlight some of the ones that came into your program at rock bottom and have started to really show what potential they have if given the opportunity?
Yes, I have a young lady right now that whenever I first met her, her story impacted me in a way that it reminded me of myself. And that's something that I failed to add in the beginning, and I do apologize if I can add it really quick.
Sure.
I in 2006, my son was murdered. I was a victim of domestic violence, and so it took me a very long time to be the person I am right now. I was lost. I hated life in general. I hated everything. I didn't care if I came, if I went. It didn't matter to me. I had no hope. I became a person that I regret, knowing that I had became. I gave up believing in God. I had given up a lot, and I had to grow. I had to understand the reasoning of why my son has been murdered. I had to understand it and accept it, accept the challenge that God has put in my life and why he put me here. I had 2 daughters. I was homeless with my 2 daughters. We've lived in a warehouse. We've lived in a car. We've struggled. We literally struggled. And again, I hated life. I grew from that. I grew from that tremendously, and it taught me so much about what life in general had to offer, and what were we missing? What was I missing? What was it that I needed in that time that I didn't have? So when I opened up the organization, I didn't do it because I woke up one day and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. No, I became an interpreter / translator for the state of Texas in 2014. And in 2016, I translated for an attorney on a victim of domestic violence. And at first, I did not want to translate. I had an anxiety attack. I really did not want to be in there. But I stayed because I was forced to. The attorney was like, "You're not going anywhere. I'm paying you." So I helped that young lady. And right now she owns her own food place. She now lives in Houston, has her own house. She's working towards a major goal. She is in school doing counseling. She's an amazing individual. She has grown so much. Her children are amazing. They call me Auntie, Tia in Spanish. They're sweet kids that just wanted a way out. That just wanted help. They just wanted to be cared for and loved. And mom didn't understand that aspect of how love should be. She is doing so great, and that was my first lady that I've ever helped, and we're still friends to this day. Last year, I took on a case. Because then I was just an advocate. I was just, hey, why don't you go here? Let's go do this. Why don't we try this out? And everything, God put everything in my way to know exactly what to do, when to do it. And it was a struggle because court was, I had to be quiet. I couldn't speak in court. I wanted to tell him to, go somewheres, and I wanted to let the judge know that I was mad, but I couldn't, It taught me. It was a growing experience. It was something that we both grew on, and she is an amazing individual. Last year I took on a case, and this lady was pregnant. She has 3 children. She had 3 children at the time when I met her. She was referred to me by a detective, and she was a shy, quiet individual. She was scared. You could close a door and she was running. She didn't know what was behind that door or what was coming through the door. She was a victim of domestic violence. He hit her while she was pregnant. They arrested him. He bonded out. And in the process of being bonded out with an ankle monitor, he showed up to her house in the middle of the night multiple times. And she would call me frantic on the phone. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. Call the police. We're on our way. By the time we would get there, he'd be gone. So I started calling that detective that called me, and I was like, I think you need to look at his location. And sure enough, he was outside of her house, circling around the house, stalking her. Now he is still in jail. They picked him back up. He is still behind bars, and hopefully he gets what he needs, what he deserves, stay in jail. She has been an amazing inspiration to me. She always tells me she owes me her life. And I hate when she says that, because she doesn't. She has grown so much. She actually just completed her high school diploma. She just finished it. She didn't have her high school diploma. Her children started school late because he did not allow the kids to go to school. She was homeschooling the children from home she has been homeschooling the kids for the past 4 years. Never once stepped foot in class. The kids didn't know what it was going to be like. They were afraid. They started school. They love school. They're ready to go back to school. And she just got hired on through the school district out of Jefferson County. And I'm very, very, very proud of her for all of her accomplishments. She has started a business. She creates T-shirts, mugs, pins, anything you name it, you got it. She can create it. She started that little project. She's been selling things online to make money, to make ends meet. She has her house, she has her car, and now she works at a school. So she's doing amazing. And we're not even done with the case. We're still actively seeking her justice, fighting those demons to make sure that they are okay. I had sent you a letter that her daughter wrote. And that letter, I can close my eyes and I can see that letter, because it's how a child views domestic violence in their eyes. We never once stop and think, how is it affecting the children? I mean, he's beating on me. He kisses them and he hugs them, but then he comes back and he beats on me. But we truly never know what that child is going through. In the aftermath of, now that the case is a year in, I have learned that now he has also put his hands on that child, that he grabbed her by the hair and flung her against the wall, that he dragged her from the closet where she hid herself underneath clothing. These are monsters. These are actual people that are not okay. And as a society, as a community, we need to come together to help these children. And they see counseling. That little girl's trying to hurt herself. As a community, we need to stop this. There's something that we have to take action on. Even if y'all don't do it through my action and y'all take y'all's own way of action, something needs to happen. We as a community need to come together to fight and end the silence.
Well, I hope that this is just the beginning of dozens and hundreds more of happy stories that A Voice for Hope will be able to do. I know that you've got some pretty ambitious and pretty like laudable goals, and we'll be here every step of the way to help you. Thanks for being on the show, and I hope to have you back on really soon.
Thank you so much.